the funeral mass for Father Bill will be on Monday at 2:30 p.m. in this church here. Okay, the cremation will be at 5 p.m. And the wake is at basement 2, our canteen. The body had just arrived before the 1 o'clock novena. So if you want to pay your respect, you may, but we are calling those who are driving, please do cooperate with our car park wardens. If you are driving, you want to pay your respect, we kindly ask you, if your car is not blocked, it's fine, because we also don't want to cause inconvenience for people who are coming from novena. Okay, so if you wish to, you may want to repark your car at shopping center, it's easier. Okay, so we ask for your understanding. We ask for your understanding for this matter. Today, as we begin the first week of the Lenten preparations for the novena, the 3 pillars to holiness. The 3 pillars to holiness. And it's nothing new, because prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, all of us, you have done your catechism, even though you may not pass your catechism, you will never forget these 3. Correct or not? Because every Lent season, you are reminded, and if you are a good Catholic followers, even though you don't follow, you will also know prayers, fasting, and almsgiving. So this period of the next couple of weeks, we'll be highlighting each component to help you, hopefully, that you can fully understand it and live a much more meaningful faith. It seems to be very easy. Prayer, who doesn't pray? Correct or not? Fasting, who doesn't fast? And almsgiving, I'm sure almsgiving, you're all very kind. Because sometimes you see people down here asking for money, and what is $2 you give? That's why a lot of people want to come here. When I retire from my priesthood, I will want to sit in front also. So I want to just break into a certain thing, not to overcross what the next couple of weeks, but just to straight highlight, although it's a basic things, but the basic things of our Christian faith towards our Christian spirituality as a Catholic, it has its meaning and purpose. If we look at it on the superficial level, what is prayer? I pray my rosary. What is fasting? Never mind, every Friday I fast. I will abstain from meat. But if you are sick, you're not well, you're not required to fast. So don't go after the church said must fast. Then you landed yourself in hospital bills. But understanding why Jesus in the scripture encouraged these 3 components. Prayer, a prayerful person who has intimate relationship with God will automatically, for some reasons, will lead us to recognize the spiritual values of fasting. Fasting is not about just food only. Although we say we use food as an example to fast, I don't know how many of you have truly experienced hunger. But Singapore standard very difficult to experience hunger. If you're hungry, if you don't know how to cook, just walk up next door and eat, walao, nasi lemak jing choy. You know, all the food, anywhere you can get. Nowadays, some HDB also a 24 hours coffee shop. Down here, very easy for me. Sometimes Sunday, no food, I just hop over, hungry, hop over, don't know how to choose. Too many choices. Jing ho mia. But fasting gives us a certain values of cultivating a spiritual growth, a desires, a deep relationship with God. That through our fasting we experience the hunger, and that hunger leads us to be more compassionate and more sensitive to people around us who have no food. That fasting also leads us to a spiritual values of the issues that we are struggling with, a deeper issue that we can really, trust God. Now, of course, every practices must be a balance. Almsgiving is to help us to be conscious of the needs of people. There are people who need our help. I know one question posed to me every time I talk about almsgiving. People say, then what happened to the rich people? $10 there is nothing, $20 is nothing. Some rich people, even $1 million is nothing. It's not about the amount you give. Of course, if you have a lot, you can give a lot, fine. It's not measured by almsgiving. Wow, I give $3 million. It's an attitude in our hearts to recognize the blessing of God in our lives, that God has blessed us, that we are able to share. We are able to share. The flip side of charity is always everything that is good, there's always a flip side. In life, if we have lived long enough, I'm sure you will understand that people will take advantage of our generosity. But what to do? That's life. But either we can choose to remain stupid, to be always taken care or advantage of, or we can choose to be wise, that in almsgiving, we are giving to the right cause. For many years in ministering to people, people often come and ask for financial help. And you know, we Catholic priests only have an allowance. And people can come and twist our arm, make us feel guilty. But Father, you talk about kind, you talk about almsgiving here and there. Why you only give me that much only? I need this much. Why can't you give? You only give me this. Not enough, leh. As we enter soon, as we're preparing to enter into the Lenten season, although these three pillars towards the holiness of our life is a very basic things of a human nature, but it has a lot of spiritual value and meaning in our lives. It also helps us, if we can practice these three things to the best of our abilities, it also helps us to be a very peaceful person. As a human being, money is never enough. True or not? Huh? You don't have, you long to have. You have, you long to have more. But we can recognize the three values, prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, that Jesus had offered to you and I, that these three basic things, not easy to lead, not easy to follow, but if we follow it wholeheartedly, we can truly, truly embrace the meaning of our Christianity, the meaning of the message of God that Jesus was trying to point out to us. I have encountered many people who are at peace, who are able to give freely because they cultivate these three virtues. Fasting, wow, that part sometimes, there must be a reason for you and I to do. Nowadays, a lot of people fast for health reasons. Funny, for health reasons, when people fast, we are motivated, But to fast for a spiritual value, walao sian le. But fasting is also calling us not just for food. Fasting also calling us to recognize the sin in our life, that when we fast, we don't want to do it. Recognize the interior, the power of fasting is that, hey, it sounds stupid for me to tell you, if you are a very hot-tempered man, to ask you to fast, the meaning of your fast, you must say, okay, today I fast because I know I'm a hot-tempered man. God, I offer my fasting as a process to deal with my temper. So that in this spiritual exercise of fasting, I offer this fasting, this sacrifice of fasting. Lord, teach me not to be so hot-tempered anymore. Don't always look at my wife, Ming Chow Chow. Not that this fasting through the period of Lent, after the whole period of renewal of fasting, I fast to say, God, I want to give up that hot temper in me, the irritations in me. If you can do that in the period of Lent, that is fasting. No point, let's say fasting means food. It's more than just food. To fast food for 1 hour is all very easy. We all can make it, correct or not? But to know the significance of that fasting, that if you are dealing with some issue that for life that you have been a slave to, then this period of Lent, this period of Novena, think, reflect, that what you want this period of Novena here, this Lenten Novena, there's something in your life that you struggle to, struggle with it. You are conscious with it, and yet you find that, wow, jing jia la. You struggle to forgive your husband and your wife. Make this fasting, this period to fast with the consciousness that, God, I really want to forgive my wife or my husband. So in your fasting from food, add that dimension of this unforgiveness to say, hey, Lord, through fasting, let me have that close intimacy with you. Through fasting, let me recognize that, hey, I have to let go of this unforgiveness in my heart. I have to love again so that my life with my husband or wife can be renewed. So today, let us ask our Blessed Mother that continue in this basic, help us to live this basic truth of our Christian faith, prayer, fasting, and almsgiving.